It has been a gloomy day across our area, but it looks like we're in for a bit of a warm-up.
Yeah, in the next couple of days. Looking forward to that, Aaron.
Yeah, looking pretty good as we get into your weekend. We got sunshine in the forecast. We got mild temperatures as well, so a lot to look forward to after today. It's been, like Jess said, gloomy across the area. We've had cloud cover. We've had a little bit of rain out there, especially across parts of Iowa where we have some of the colder temperatures. You can see down around Decorah, 34 degrees. Got even a few snowflakes mixing in around those parts of northeast Iowa. 37 in New Hampton. We got 45, though, in Austin, so things get a little bit warmer the further northwest you go, where we haven't seen as much rain, and even a few peaks of sunshine today. 45 right now in Owatonna. As we look at Doppler radar, you can see there is still some light rain falling, even in some snowflakes mixing in around parts of northeast Iowa into Wisconsin. Not going to see really much happening here in our neck of the woods, aside from some light rain around areas around Charles City, maybe New Hampton. That's going to clear out of here as we go into the weekend. And as I mentioned, we are tracking sunshine. We got temperatures that are going to be above average, a lot of mild weather before we got our next chance of rain and maybe a little bit of snow for next week. We'll be talking more about that coming up in your 7-day forecast.
All right, thank you, Aaron. The Rochester Downtown Alliance wants to hand out up to $3,000 to people wanting to create an event to be held in downtown Rochester. So the RDA has $10,000 in total grant money to give. So if you have any ideas of an event that you'd like to see or to make happen, or if there was an event that you liked in the past and you wanted to make a comeback, then you're encouraged to apply for the Startup Event Grant. Applications are currently being taken and will until April 15th. To apply, head to downtownrochestermn.com.
Well, rotator cuff problems are the #1 reason why individuals go to the doctor due to shoulder pain. An innovative new rotator cuff procedure being done at Mayo Clinic may help some patients get better. A Mayo Clinic shoulder surgeon says it's possible to do a primary repair of the tendons when a tear occurs in the rotator cuff. Sadly, in some individuals, there's such extensive damage to the tendons that the tendons cannot be fixed. Primarily, that condition is called an irreparable rotator cuff tear, and while operations can fix it, they can be invasive. However, for some of these patients, a new, less invasive balloon procedure could be the answer.
This procedure basically tries to place a temporary spacer between the humeral head and the rest of the scapula. In a normal shoulder, when the rotator cuff is intact, the head of the humerus remains centered on the socket. When the tendons are torn, what happens is that the humeral head will migrate up, and then the bones contact abnormally.
This saline-filled balloon eventually dissolves in the body in about a year. The benefits are that the operation can be performed through a minimally invasive technique and recovery is fast. The doctor says this is a game changer in the treatment of this condition for the right patient.
The Mayo Clinic peregrine falcons are back, and now we just have to wait for the first egg to be laid. Here's a live look from the Mayo Clinic's Falcon program camera. That's right on top of the Mayo building. Falcons Hattie and Orton are the ones that are nesting in this box. Currently, not now, obviously. And coming up next Monday morning from 11 to 11:30, there will be a Facebook Live event led by the program's Falcon experts, all to learn more about the falcons, eggs, and the hatching process. The Facebook event to search for, if you're interested, is called Meet the Falcon Waiting for Eggs.
A persuasive writing assignment at a Rochester elementary school led to the creation of a new donut flavor at a local bakery. KIMT News 3's Jeremy Wall is live outside Jefferson Elementary School, where I'd have to say it's probably been a pretty good day at work since you got to try this new donut as well as learn more about its creation. Hey, Jeremy.
That's right, Jessica. I did get to try the new donut and it was delicious. But the idea all started when gifted and talented specialist Robin Watts wanted to do a project that's fun, engaging, and relevant. Watts heard of the project and thought it would make a good fit for her students. The project also teaches students persuasive skills in trying to get their donut made. Students created their own donuts and the school had to vote for whose were the best ones. Roasted Bliss made the winning donut. It's called the Campin' Donut and was created by 5th graders Jonas Bates and Peter Larson. The flavor was created because both boys feel s'mores shouldn't just be a summertime treat. They're also happy about their idea coming to life.
Excited about the donut.
We're proud that it made this far.
One really neat part of this story was we had a grandparent who last year she lost her husband, and she was very appreciative of the Jefferson community and how they came together to support her and her grandson. And when she heard we were doing this project, she volunteered to buy the donuts for each of the 5th grade students.
Watts also tells me that any Jefferson Elementary School families who want to try the campfire donut can contact Roasted Bliss. Live in Rochester, Jeremy Wall, KIMT News 3.
Thank you, Jeremy. Watts also says she plans to do this tasty assignment with her 5th grade students next year.
The Federal Reserve launched a high-risk effort earlier this week to raise its benchmark short-term interest rate, signaling up to 6 additional rate hikes this year. KIMT News 3's Samantha Soto spoke with a local realtor on how rising rates will impact the housing market. She joins us live in downtown Rochester. Sam.
That's right. I'm here in downtown Rochester, and I talked to eXp Realty Tyler, and they tell me that with the demand for houses high and inventory low, homeowners are still in demand. The demand is still up there regardless of the rate hike. Kelly Domale with eXp Realty says lower price points are seeing multiple offers, leaving many buyers fighting for some of the same properties. She says the housing market is projected to be in this high demand, low inventory phase throughout the year. Domale says though interest rates are up, it doesn't mean mortgage rates will raise equally.
So we are going to see raises in mortgage rates, which just changes affordability a little bit, but we are still at historically low rates right now. So it's still a great time to be in the market to purchase.
Domale also says mortgage rates are now probably going to be the cheapest they will be over the next couple of years. Her advice for first-time home buyers is to have patience. Live in Rochester, Samantha Soto, KIMT News 3.
Thank you, Samantha. Now, the Fed predicts rate hikes will eventually mean higher loan rates for many consumers and businesses.
Public transit users will soon have another commuting option to downtown Rochester with construction on a new park and ride facility in the near future. The new park and ride location will be at the 75th Street Northwest and Highway 52 interchange. Those who work downtown will be able to leave their cars at this facility and take a bus to downtown and St. Mary's Hospital through RPT Express routes. Transportation Operations Specialist Bradley Bobbitt says this will create less traffic downtown.
So for folks coming from up north, they won't have to come quite as far into town. They'll get off the highway a little earlier. It's also a little closer to some of the neighborhoods up in the northwest part of town for folks who might just drive right to the park and ride and come downtown.
The city is currently working on the design for the facility, which is expected to have a capacity of nearly 500 cars, with construction expected to start early next year.
A Mason City restaurant is raising money to help the employees of another one that caught fire overnight. Crews responded to LD's filling station last night with damage contained to the inside of the building. Now, I got to tell you, when I woke up and I saw this news, I was upset. I love LD's. Now, the restaurant will be closed for a bit as they work to clean everything up. Now, to help LD's employees, the Blue Heron is accepting donations and will be donating a portion of proceeds to give the LD's employees this weekend. Now, Vicky Lau, she owns the Blue Heron, and when she heard the news, she knew she needed to help.
If I woke up and my employees couldn't come to work, that would be devastating. And so as a steward of our community, what could we do to help those who work for the LDs?
LD's is a Mason City staple. As for the cause of that fire, it's still under investigation.
The first day of spring is on Sunday, and with that may come spring cleaning or new at-home projects.
Actually saw some green grass starting, finally.
Love that.
Yeah, but with the supply chain issues affecting virtually every industry, how are construction and home improvement companies being affected? KIMT News 3's Alex Juergens joins us live right now from the North Iowa Home Show. Alex.
Well, Tyler and Jess, the doors actually opened a couple hours ago, and there's already quite a few people here just walking around, maybe getting some ideas for siding, windows, even sunrooms, decor, things of that nature. And over the past couple of years, companies like Midwest Construction have seen a boom in business as the pandemic kept some folks inside and wanting to do some renovations. However, supply chain issues affecting materials have sent prices skyrocketing. But despite this, Bobby Baker with Midwest Construction says they're starting to stabilize, though they have been affected by the cost of materials and labor. And for customers, though, they try to keep the cost that's passed on to them as low as they can.
We really try not to pass those on to the customer, but we're getting hit by the manufacturers, we're getting hit, by the labor, so a small percentage of the, it does get passed down.
And because of the diversification and the growth of their business, Baker tells me they've been hiring more installers, more marketing and office people to help accommodate that growth. Live in Mason City, Alex Jurgens, KIMT News 3.
Thank you, Alex. The home show is going on this weekend at the North Iowa Event Center.
And it's open until 8 o'clock tonight, and then 10 to 7 tomorrow, and then 11 to 4 on Sunday. General admission is $5 with kids 12 and under, all for free.
A Charles City man is accused of threatening to blow a woman's head off with a shotgun. Brandon Starkey is facing charges of intimidation with dangerous weapon and domestic abuse, assault while using a dangerous weapon. Investigators say he placed the barrel of the shotgun in her mouth and threatened to shoot her. He is also facing charges for allegedly beating a man last year on Halloween in Charles City.
The Minnesota Department of Health is reporting 538 new COVID-19 cases and 9 more deaths. The state's positivity rate now stands at 3%. 74.6% of Minnesotans 5 and older have also gotten at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine.
Well, here's some good news about the virus. Community levels and projected deaths are down. Now officials are talking about the transition out of the emergency phase. Less than 1% of people in the U.S. now live in areas with high community levels. So the CDC recommends few people need to wear a mask indoor public spaces. A resurgence could come from an Omicron subvariant that spreads quickly. But experts say it might not be as deadly as other variants, especially if people are boosted. Moderna says it's asking the FDA to authorize another booster for emergency use for adults. Pfizer wants another one for those 65 and older.
Up next, have you ever wanted to do some cave exploring? Well, you can this weekend in Rochester. We'll tell you where and when.
Plus, good news for the Minnesota Vikings and their fans. Davante Adams is no longer teammates with Aaron Rodgers, where the Packers sent him packing in this blockbuster trade.
And later, a new housing development is being proposed in Rochester, where this one would go and how many units it would bring.
KIMT News 3 at 5. Your local news with KIMT News 3's Amy Fleming. Tracking storms with Storm Team 3 Chief Meteorologist Aaron White. This is KIMT News 3. More local news that is happening right now. We are covering